We are live. We are live. Alright, we are live, guys. We're going to watch Friday the 13th, Part 3. And here we go. So we got it right now. Got the volume turned down. And we are pumped up. Memorial Day weekend here. Can't go wrong. I got my bottle of water. Ice cold. Or cold is what you want to call it. So here we go. So I got the subtitles on. So I shouldn't get a copyright this time around. I mean, I love the scene where you get the recap of everything that goes on. The second film, Ginny running in Jason's shack, and Jason's coming up. I love that shot of Jason running up to the shack with Ginny in it. So the lighting in this, for a film that was made in 1980. They filmed this in 1980 and it came out in 81. So the first one was filmed in 1979 and it came out in 1980 in theaters. So this scene here that we're seeing, that's the thing I like about the 8 Paramount films. They recap pretty much most of them. I think the only ones that didn't do that was part 8 didn't recap what happened in the other one. Well, I mean, the one that had like the montage we're talking about, like, recapping of like the first film and stuff. Part 7 did a great job of that. And then you had Part 2 to recap the first one, and you had Part 3 here is recapping what happened in the second one. Then you get to Part 4, which recaps 1, 2, and 3. That was really cool. The head of Mrs. Voorhees that you see, there was it was actually an actress that was playing the head. Because in the second film, the eyes were supposed to open up and I guess symbolize Paul was killed or something. But I still think Ginny and Paul, Paul particularly survived. I believe he's a survivor. I'm standing firm on that. Now, the great question is for everybody is I'll probably wait to say that here when we get a little bit more into the film, but that burlap sack that he has on, I mean, you can't beat that at all. They had it in the 2009 remake, but it is what it is. But the sack that you see in this film is very good because you got the 1980s feel to it. You have everything that you can imagine. It's just amazing what you can do. And she's tricking them with child psychology, because when Ginny is at the bar in the second film, she basically describes what Jason really is. He's a fighting retard, a child trapped in a man's body. I think there was something else she said, and he's all those combined together. So the question is, what really is Jason Voorhees? What really is he, What do you guys think he really is? Some people are going to think he's a human being. Well, yeah, that's true. But really, what is he? Because there are things in this film we're going to see that's going to put suspension disbelief with some of the stuff. And some of the stuff that is done to him, there's no way a normal human being can survive it. Particularly the hanging at the barn. Once you get hung and your neck snaps, you're dead. The axe to the face. He's able to walk like that, and then he drops. Usually when someone's hit in the head with an axe, they drop automatically. head going in the skull, or the axe going in the skull. But then people have always complained. Everything's going great, Oracle. I'm just doing, or not Oracle, but Russell. Everything's going great. I'm just here doing the live stream commentary of Friday the 13th, Part 3. Of course, this time I do got the volume down with my subtitles because I did get a copyright strike when I looked this morning when I did my live commentary for Jason Goes to Hell last night, which sucked. But hey, I might be redoing that commentary probably in the fall here for the month of October. We'll see, but you know how Jason has all these different looks and stuff. So when he becomes the undead Jason, you get to Part 7. He's down in the water after the events of Part 6. Yeah, it's a good one. It definitely is. I love it as well. That disco theme, you can't go wrong with that disco theme. And I love this scene here where Jason pulls the machete out and he just crawls away. And the whole disco scene comes up. What I was going to say is when you get to Part 7, when he's down in the water for that so long of a time, for all those years, his rib cage, his spinal cord showing, and you get to Part 8, none of that is even showing. When you get to Jason X, when Dr. Wormer says his unique ability to regenerate lost and damaged tissue just cries out for more research, he was able to regenerate lost and damaged tissue. How? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. So what is Jason Voorhees? What is he really, I mean, I don't even know. Maybe when we get to the Crystal Lake series, whenever that comes out, maybe we'll find out some of the secrets. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Now, we're in the credits now, but when we get to the store where Harold and Edna, where they live and they run their business, what you guys pay attention really closely when you guys watch this next time is the bird that you're hearing at. It's a common loon. I actually, all these years I've wanted to know what type of bird was that. So I actually got the common loon's sound, like it is in this film here, as my ringtone on my phone. Which is really cool. And I just love that sound. Every time I watch the film here, I think of Friday the 13th. We have Frank Mancuso Jr., the son of Frank Mancuso Sr., Steve Miner, the director. I'll never forget when I met him. It was awesome. Met him at Flashback Weekend one year. Yeah, that's why Part 6 is more like the Frankenstein story, like what Tom McLaughlin did. To bring him back was through lightning. And like that whole scene here of the Crystal Lake, I think it's the Crystal Lake store that Harold and Edna own. The lightning going off, reflecting off the roof. You get Harold coming up here, and that store is tore down. The only thing that's really left of this place is basically the stone wall, which you see later on when Jason is watching Edna take down clothes later on in the film. That's really like the only time you get to see. That's the only thing that's really there. I mean, part of I think the area where Harold just walked from, like the cement slab, is still there, just a little bit of it. But this was done out in California. This was not done in the Midwest. And we got Steve Miner makes a cameo. He's the newscaster on the TV here. She's getting ready to do her knitting. So I'm kind of assuming that their house is basically the store itself, because there was it didn't look like nothing was detached, like there was a separate building from their store. But it's just really sad that Steve Sadusky passed away in a car accident many years ago. And he plays Harold, so then you get Jenny here, and And the neat thing about 2 through 4 is it all happens in the same week. So 2 was in on Friday. This what or no, hold on. I'm trying to think here. Because 2 happens in 2 days. This one happens in one day. Well, technically, after she defeats. Actually, this is actually the same night after Jenny defeats Jason, I believe. What we're seeing right now, where Edna is. And I always thought the scene was freaky when you see him, like the shot of him just standing there watching her, and it zooms in on her at the curtains, at the hangers and stuff. I thought that was really, really freaky. And then she looks over, and the only thing she sees is his hand, not the rest of his body, but just the hand, pretty much. You do see part of the leg, but the music, which I can't hear because I got to turn it down. But I just love the music. I got the soundtrack for this one on vinyl from Waxwork Records. I always thought the music was really great. I don't know. I'll never forget. This was 10 years ago, quite a few years ago. When my oldest brother had like surgery, and we were staying at my grandparents' house. And of course, it was just my grandma. My late grandfather passed away many, many years ago, and she knew about these movies. She never liked them. She wasn't a fan of horror or anything like that. But I asked my brother, "What did you want to watch?" And he says, "Friday the 13th Part 3," which I think I had on DVD. And we go and watch it. And my grandma got the wildest idea. Hey, let's go and watch it. And I couldn't believe it. Here she is, an 80-something-year-old woman watching this film, and I kept looking back at her, just seeing her. She would say at one point about Chris's boyfriend, Rick, "Whatever happened to her so-called boyfriend? Did he get killed?" And then right after the movie was, she asked, "I don't know how the heck you guys can watch this stuff." It was funny. I never thought I'd actually have my late grandmother watch this. It could have been worse. We could have been watching Nightmare on Elm Street. And here's Harold eating everything up in his own store and putting it back on the shelf. I mean, I ain't gonna drink that Sunny D or that orange juice. Yuck. He takes a donut, bites into it, and puts it back. He's gonna put it back in there. He's just chowing down, looking at her. He's got the rabbit in the hand, and well, I'd love to take some of those bananas. I'd love to take a banana from the store and eat it. Of course, I'd buy it. I wouldn't go like what he's doing and eating out of his own store. And he goes back into that donut case and grabs it, bites it like he's, yelling at her. He probably ate the whole donut there. It is. It really is. Did you know that did you know the trailer for Friday the 13th Part 2 when the narrator says it was a warm June summer night, Friday the 13th happened, referring to the first film? 12 of her friends were murdered. There was not 12 kills in the original Friday the 13th film. And when the narrator says 12 of her friends, Barry and Claudette, Alice didn't know them. That was before her time. It was in 1958. Annie, she never got to meet because Annie never made it to the camp. So, technically, there was an error when they did that trailer for Friday the 13th Part 2. Now, the scene where Harold is on the toilet, I noticed too, when they've aired this on regular TV, the last couple of years, they would cut that part out. That music right when he sees the curtains move and he thinks there's somebody behind there. Just that music that Harry Manfredini puts into play is really good. And you got to think too, Harry Manfredini did all these films. He did part of 7, and I think Fred Moline took over from part 7, and I think Fred Moline also did part 8. So you didn't have Harry Manfredini come back until Jason Goes to Hell, and he did soundtrack for Jason X as well. So it's really neat. And I always, like I said, I always thought this was very scary because here's Harold getting off the toilet. Not to be disgusting though, but just looking around. It's very dark, very very eerie back there. He's going for doors, trying to figure out what's going on. And then he's walking around, goes through this door right here, door number one. Nobody there. Door number one, there's nobody there. But what's going to happen next is going to be terrifying. It'd be so terrifying. It's a shock. I know I'd be shocked myself. Tom Savini only did Friday the 13th Part 1 and Part 4. I met him last year, and there's been two different stories I've heard throughout all the YouTubers on YouTube here. I've heard YouTubers say he's very very quiet, not really too much into his fans, and there was other YouTubers say that he was very talkative. So I went up to Dave's Dead Chicago. It was on a Sunday, I believe, with my best friend and his brother, and I seen we were waiting in line to get into the event itself, and Tom comes out to the he was going to go up to the Kitty Shack Bar and Grill at the Crown Plaza O'Hare Hotel in Chicago, and I just studied him, just watching how he was, didn't interact with any of the fans or anything when he walked through or anything, and I'm thinking I'm kind of thinking I know what type of Tom Savini we're getting here, and sure enough it was. My buddy and his brother were right in front of me when they met him. And then I met him. He didn't say much to me, but I had my Friday the 13th shirt on from the first film, and he smiled at me and he signed my Part 1 poster. And I didn't really carry on anything, but I mean, it's that kind of new, That's how you do your research with like different actors, which ones don't want to be filmed at their table and whatnot. So my buddy comes up to me and says, "Man, he didn't even talk." I says, "Well, Bob, that's my friend's name." I told him, "Bob, I knew right away this was the Savini we were going to get, is the quiet, not so talkative with his fans, and that's what we got." I had no issue with it, but I mean, if the body of work you've done, I mean, dude, you could at least be nice, but I kind of understand. I've heard stories that he won't talk to you unless you go ahead and pay him money for the autograph or whatnot, but. Sometimes I guess people are greedy, but I mean, these are some stories I've heard, but my personal experience, yeah, he was very quiet when I met him. Didn't say much, but he did smile at me, and I think the reason what made him smile was the T-shirt. Two of his kills were on the T-shirt. The Kevin Bacon kill, and then I believe it was the Annie kill. That's on that shirt. Yeah, Larry Zerner. I mean, I love this cast here. I think this cast of women in this film here has the best looking women. They're all brunettes. You got Tracy Savage, you got Dana Kimmel. They're talking to Vera's mom. Vera comes out, and it's amazing. I met Tracy Savage as well. Tracy Savage, Larry Zerner. I met David Cadence, who plays Chuck, the guy that looks like Chong from the Cheech and Chong. The one that's dating Chili. I met him. Real nice people. Meeting Tracy Savage, we had to wait. It was a Friday night we went. She wasn't there yet, and the convention was going to close, and it was going to close about half an hour, and she got there around like 9:30. She got in the building around 9:30, and it's on my shorts list. If you guys go back to my shorts, I think there's a playlist in my shorts when she enters in the ballroom and comes in. But real sweet. I got two autographs, one on my poster and then one of an 8x10 of her, like standing right inside the van with her arm like this on the inside of the doorway, which is pretty cool. I like the setting, like when they were going through like the wooded area right here just a few minutes ago. I think that was really cool because you still get that feel, but it's very very different. I mean, these vans, I believe this is a conversion van that they're in. And you got Shelly telling Vera, what do you got in that thing? My whole world, his whole world, a mask, a scuba diving suit, the spirit. I don't know how the heck he got a spirit gun in that thing unless it's in a different bag. Yeah, it didn't bother me at all. I know when I met Danielle Harris when she first came back and do the conventions, I had asked her husband, "Do you want me to pay now?" And he looks at me and he's like, "Yeah," like that, like really ignorant, like. And then I go up there to get my picture taken on my Cyber Sony Shot camera, and her friend was taking the pictures off of our devices, and she took a picture of me and Danielle, and then she looks at me. Her friend, Danielle's friend, looks at me and says, "Here, uh, you tell me how it looks." And I'm like, "Whoa, cool down, lady. I mean, it's no big deal. But you're gonna run into ignorant people. You're gonna run into ignorant celebrities. But Danielle was fine with me. I mean, it was. I mean, she was fine with me. I didn't have an issue with her, but her husband and her friend were just very, very downright rude. Uh, yeah, here the cops are entering the supermarket or the store, country store. I love the shot when Dana's driving the van, looking down, especially her point of view. I think that's really good. And then they got the Harry Manfredini music, just very, very classic. And to this day, uh, Steve Miner still holds the record as the only director of this franchise to direct two of them. I think he was like producer or something on the first one. So he's been involved with the first three films. You got David Wiley basically is a carbon copy or a rip-off of the Crazy Ralph character. I must be in heaven. He looks up in these days, I must be in heaven. I couldn't even imagine somebody seeing like that, something going on a country road like that, out there in the woods on a dirt road, and here's somebody laying and sleeping on the ground, and you're wondering what's wrong with them. I think I might do the same thing, is get out there and check and see, hey, is this guy alright or what? And he pulls out this sheep's eye, I think that's what it is. He wanted me to warn you, go back from whence you came. I have warned thee. Look upon this omen and stuff like that. It's some great stuff. Adam West, Batman from 1960. I heard he was a pretty nice guy. That I've heard. I've never met anybody from the 60s show. I would have loved to have met Yvonne Craig, the Batgirl, because she was awesome. I mean, I got a real lifelike portrait of her right here that's laying right here by my entertainment center that Steve Bayer, the artist, did. He does pinup work and looks just like Yvonne Craig in that outfit. It's amazing. I do kayaking, you guys already know that, but I mean, the way they have this canoe strapped down to the top of this van is something, man. It looks like it's, nailed. The device that holds it, the rack, looks like it's nailed at the top of the van. I don't know if you guys know, if you guys go online, they rebuilt the dock for the lake in this film. They rebuilt it. So there's no water there, but they rebuilt it, and they're planning on rebuilding the house since it burnt down to those idiot fans that went in there back, I think in 2006 it was, when they burnt the damn thing down. They had a party in there in Craftman. But yeah, they rebuilt the dock. I remember Scott on tape was saying something about he went out there and he did talk to, or he interviewed the owner of the ranch, and the owner of the ranch says they're going to be rebuilding the house because he's got the blueprints of the actual ranch house that was made for this film here. He was going to rebuild it. Yeah, Earthly Cat, Meryl Mayweather, I think that's what her first name was. I know it was Mayweather, and then it was the original one, which was, God, what's her name? Julie Newmar. I think Julie Newmar was the most attractive one out of the three of them. And I believe she's still alive, too. Looks good for an 80-year-old woman. But back in her day, back in the 60s, whoo, man. Face to the ace. Hope everything is going great. We're watching Friday 13 Part 3, man. We're just talking about having fun. That barn, that barn is still there. Going back with what the owner of the ranch was going to do, he was going to rebuild the dock, which the dock has been rebuilt. I think he said he was going to rebuild the wooden bridge where the gang when they get to the Higgins Haven house in the van. I think they're going to rebuild that. I know the house he had said they were going to rebuild because he's got the blueprints of the house. Now the house was originally it was one level. But the commentary for Part 3, it's a little bit different because you have Dana Kimball, Larry Zerner, Paul Kraka, Richard Brooker, and Peter Breck, who did the Crystal Lake Memories book. They talked about the house was on 1 or 2 levels. I know that was always creepy when Chris looks out that window and you see the barn, the double doors to the barn just swing open like that and close. Because something's going on. Because later on we find out that she came across Jason before, and that was before the events, I believe, before the events of Part 2. So wouldn't that be neat if they do like a couple of seasons more of Crystal Lake, and they bring that up somehow. It'll depend on what they do with the Jason character in that. Because when Brad Fuller had it, he said he was able to do everything. That'd be great, man. That'd be great to have more subscribers. I mean, like I said, I'm no professional at any of this. I just do this for the fun of it and stuff like that. But definitely, man, it's a good place. I know I'm supposed to be doing a live stream commentary watch party of the original film with 2 YouTubers. One of them had asked me would I be interested in doing something like that. I said, yeah, because it'd be the first time me collaborating with 2 people live on camera. Hopefully my technology here that I got, because I'm filming this, I'm live streaming this on my phone. Hopefully that the connection the link for their StreamYard or whatever is able to work on my phone. Because I don't got a laptop. I'm hoping to get one of those possibly in October, maybe. We'll see. I often wondered who Mary Jo Conrad was. He gave that opportunity to spend the weekend with Chris instead of Mary Jo Conrad, and like I said, I'd rather be with Chris myself. I don't know who the heck Mary Jo Conrad is, but maybe she was the other woman in his life. I don't know. But did you know that the Bone Garden, there's a movie called Bone Garden, I think it's still playing on Tubi. It stars Tracy Savage and Paul Karaka. It's really interesting. The ending is whack, tripped out. It's called The Bone Garden with Paul Karaka and Tracy Savage. And Ron Milkey, who played Officer Dorff in the original Friday the 13th film. It's pretty good, but the ending to it was whacked out crazy. That green door. I was amazed going back with the Friday 13th video game, how they basically made the Higgins Haven house look like it was in the movie, in the game, which I thought was really, really cool. Really, really, really neat. Take my tablet here, just put it right down over here. I don't think I've ever seen a green portable closet like that. It looks so green. It's like lime-like green or olive green, you know. Don't touch him, Andy. Yep, he's testing him out. Yeah, it's all a prank. And see, the thing with Shelley, he's wanting attention. He's wanting people to like him. He admits it to Vera later on in the film. Why do you have to do those things? I have to. You don't have to. It's better than being a. I'd rather be a jerk. It's better than being nothing or whatever he says. They did a real great job with uh, Catherine Parks, who plays Vera in this. I mean, they made her. She's supposed to be Latina. I don't know if she is in real life, but it's a great shot of that barn. Great shot of seeing those haystacks in the barn. That rope we'll see later on in the movie. Because I met Mike DeLuna, the guy that was the other Jason in this film. He did the scene where after Jason throws Rick through the window after he kills him, he comes through. That was Mike DeLuna, and then when he gets hung with the noose, that was Mike DeLuna. This scene here where you see Chris and Debbie walking through the field here. I always loved that scene. I thought it was the most beautiful scene in the film because you see, it's like, you know, when I walk out on the trails, which I'll be doing that tomorrow. It's really, really cool because you see like there's like a chain link fence in the back. Don't worry, we're all here together. Nothing's gonna happen. Yeah, that's what you think. You guys have no idea what's gonna happen because there's only one person that's gonna see the light of day, and that's gonna be Chris. In the VHS version of this film, the cashier here, you don't see her face. But I noticed like on the DVD, and ever since the DVD came out, you were able to see her face, which I thought was really, really cool. But I know on the VHS, you never saw her face. It was just the back of her head. And then here we go ahead, we get the introduction to the biker gang. Gloria Charles, R.I.P. to her. Passed away quite a few years ago. Yeah, I love this thing. You know, is this your rubber? Didn't your mother teach you manners? That was really interesting. They put Shelly and they put Fox in the video game as well. And there's been stories I've been seeing videos online saying, they're going to revive the game. They're going to revive the game. And, like, when is it going to happen, you know? If it does happen, then that'd be great. But, that'd be cool. We can finally get Uber Jason if that would ever happen. But we'll have to wait and see. I love the look how Catherine right here, you know, gives that look to Gloria here. When Gloria tells her, you know, it's didn't your mother teach you manners? Ask nicely, and the way she delivers it was really cool. Now, Kevin O'Brien, who plays Loco, the biker, the one that's you know gets stabbed with the pitchfork and stuff. He does conventions too. It'd be really cool to meet him. I'm so kind of upset that I think it was Indianapolis Days of the Dead got him and Paul Karaka, but for us when we had the main reunion for Part 3, we had Tracy Savage, Mike DeLuna, Larry Zerner, and David Cadams. You know, look, when you're getting ready to back out, you're so nervous, and you back right into the motorcycles. Ali takes that can of beer, whatever he has, and just slams it to the ground. The soda comes out, wherever it is, and he's getting ready for that chain. Yeah, you don't want to mess with these guys, man. And bikers, especially back in these days. Now, Olympia beer, I don't think they make anymore. I remember Paul Karaka on the commentary. He had asked if he doesn't think they make it anymore. I've never seen it. I've never seen Olympia beer. Only in this film here. He went too... I should have, when I met Larry Zerner, I should have asked him, hey, do you do quotes? He went too far this time. I should have had that written out, but damn it, But sometimes when you meet these celebrities, you get starstruck a little bit. You definitely do get starstruck. That market that they were at, that's still there, but it's totally different. They did keep the payphone thing there. It kind of amazes me how the biker gang finds them. It's what really amazes me. yo-yos. They had to change. They had to change it. They were going to use paddle balls. Remember, Larry Zerner saying something in the commentary that they were in the commentary that they were going to use paddle balls for this stuff, but they couldn't get them directly into the camera, so that's why they went with the yo-yo. You do get to see a glimpse of Jason here, right when Vera and Shelley come back, and I think I could be wrong. But right when Shelley and Vera come back from the store after they had that thing with the biker gang, when you see Jason open up the barn door for a little bit, you can see him. I believe that is the original look that they had for him that Stan Winston did. I'm sure of it. So basically you're getting the Stan Winston look, but from a farther distance. This scene is really cool coming up when Rick and Chris are getting ready to talk. If you look in the back passenger side window, the back passenger side window behind the driver's side, if you look closely in the window, you can see Steve Miner and crew. Kid you not. I'm gonna look at it. I see the guy in the camera, and then I see Steve Miner walking around. Boom, there you are. So you get Steve Miner twice in this, and you get one of his cameramen on it. And there's Jason just standing there just watching. So yeah, definitely some great stuff. Great stuff. Because we are getting Marilyn Poucher, the second assistant unit director of this film, who also played Mrs. Voorhees' corpse in this film in the dream sequence. She's coming to Chicago's Days of the Dead this November, and I'm keep my fingers crossed. Hopefully she's coming, because that'd be another one out of the poster. We're also getting Kelly Hu was Ava Wannabe from Part 8. Somebody from Part 8, finally, you know. I got the poster right here. And then, you know, we got, you know, McGill, who was Demon, and then you get Tom Matthews, who was Tommy Jarvis from Part 6. They'll be there. Those two guys will be there for the Return of the Living Dead reunion. But so basically 4 Friday the 13th guests. I'm kind of hoping that they would get Dana Kimmel. That'd be really, really cool. I've never siphoned gas out of a vehicle. I think my stepfather did one time. Speaking of this, because Ali's about ready to do it here. I couldn't even imagine siphoning gas and all of a sudden you suck that stuff up and boom, it gets in your mouth. Ooh, man, gasoline has a horrible smell, especially when it gets on your hands. There's many times when I've poured gas into my lawnmower, I would kind of, you know, get it on my hands by accidentally maybe overflowing it a little bit, but it doesn't have a great smell. You know, if I were you, Fox, I wouldn't be going in that barn. It's a very, very scary place. Of course, she doesn't even know Jason's even in there. And this is the first film that doesn't, yeah, you don't ever hear the name Jason mentioned. So I thought that's another unique thing about this one. Jason's name is never mentioned in this film. Same thing, like what does Mrs. Voorhees got to do with this when she comes out and pulls down Chris in the dream sequence? She didn't even know who Mrs. Voorhees even was. But I thought this was freaky right here, because right when she gets down doing her thing with drumming on some of these utensils in the barn, that door opens up and here Jason pops out. That's where he's been hiding. It's an upgrade. He went from the shack in the second one to a barn in this one. Very, very, very neat upgrade. When he's right at their home base, hiding out. Hiding out right across from the ranch house, which is Higgins Haven. Or he's not in Higgins Haven, but the actual ranch house. I call it ranch house. But yeah. Hit that canteen, baby. Hit that canteen like you mean it. That was boy, that was close. If she would have landed any further, she would have gotten it good with that pitchfork. My question is, how did he get up there without her even knowing? I think I know what it was. He climbed up there when she got further down that way, down the ways, and that's how he got up there. But how did he get up there so quietly? Nobody knows. But he's up there. He's up there and he's gonna get her. And I thought the scene where when Loco goes and is gonna dump this gasoline in the barn, right when he sees Fox swinging on the rope, in and out, and then he looks back up and then she's gone, and that music kicks in again. That to me is very, very eerie. It's like you didn't even hear her scream or anything. Yeah, get off that thing. Ollie's gonna be pissed if he sees you screwing around. He looks down and grab the cans, and boom, she's gone. She's gone, guys. Didn't hear a sound. So, what the heck is going on? They have no idea that Jason's in there. Now, if I had to ask you guys, which you like better, the zombie Jason or the Jason from the first 4 films? I guess you can count the Jason from 2009 since that's not the undead Jason either. I prefer the Jason before he became a zombie, which is, if you want to call him human, that's what he is in the first the first 3 films. But, first four, because typically he was alive in the events of part 1. You just didn't see him. The only thing you saw was the flashbacks of him drowning. This scene here is so eerie. It's kind of freaky because when you see Fox hanging right here. And that pitchfork was definitely inside that wood, because when they had on filming locations of this, where they actually showed people going up in there, particularly, I know Scott on tape, I think he went up there and he pointed it out too. The gashes from the pitchfork were, they held a fox in there still on the wood. But yeah, I mean, that's so crazy. You can tell so many shots were supposed to be in 3D or in 3D effects, but I still think it's cool. I've never seen this whole thing in 3D. I've never seen the whole movie in 3D because of the red and blue stuff. It gives me a headache. Here goes Ali, the big bad tough ass right here. You can tell he's kind of nervous a little bit. Oh man, here he goes, Loco's body. Yeah, he's panicking right now, and then all of a sudden he yells for Fox. He knows he's dead. He's probably thinking Fox is dead too. And there he is. Oh yeah, I would have gotten the hell out of there. I wouldn't have stand there and fought this guy. But when he looks, oh shit. You see his face, yeah, you're gonna be shitting when you see his face. It's like that guy in the 2009 remake when he accidentally rips off Jason's sack. Oh, that shit ain't right, dude. That shit ain't right. I heard that, oh gosh, the actor that plays Andy, I can't remember his name offhand. Jeffrey Rogers. It just popped in my head. Jeffrey Rogers. I heard Jeffrey Rogers, in order for him to get the role of Andy, he had to learn how to do the handstand.
And I'm like, I couldn't even imagine. You get to interview, can you do handstand? And he had to learn it to do the part. How much he had to practice to get the handstand ready. Because originally, I know Paul Kreca had said that he was going to be he was going in for the role of Andy, but he got the role of Rick. They said he'd be right for the role of Rick, you know. But we're getting to the scene now where here we got, you know, Chris gonna tell Rick about the events of what happened. This is when she met Jason for the first time, and I'm assuming this was before the events of part two. It would almost have to be. So basically, he's been out there before the events of part two, out there walking around. Who knows how many other people he has killed that has not been documented. It'll be really interesting. Like I said, it'll be interesting once, you know, this whole thing gets up and running with this whole prequel Peacock series, Crystal Lake. See what's actually going to happen. How many seasons? How many seasons is it going to go? Is it going to go as long as Bates Motel? We won't know that until we get to the first season. Hopefully, nothing legally stops it, because us Friday the 13th fans want something, you know, and this is something. I guess that leaves you, you and me. Yep. The juggling. I tried to juggle a couple times and it didn't do too well. I didn't do too well at it. So it is, you know, it is what it is. I got this little like prison thing. I'll have to show you guys here. It's really cool. It's from part three. I forgot the person that made these. But I was gonna pick an art print of Vicky from part two, but that's Fox, Vera, and Debbie. It's pretty cool, huh? Pretty awesome. So I got that. That's sitting on my Friday 13th shelf over here. Do a lot of this cool stuff, you know. I know in my channel is pretty much, I mean, I talk about Friday the 13th non-stop. Man, I can't help myself, guys. When it comes to this franchise, I'm excited about it. I'm very excited. I think one of the YouTubers who I'm subscribed to is doing something on Friday the 13th tonight, so I'll be checking out his channel later on tonight. And I think he's actually doing ranking the filming locations. I believe that's what the stream he's going to be doing on his. Yeah, this fireplace is the only thing that's left standing of the ranch house, and it's falling apart as well, but it's still standing. But it's rocks and stuff are starting to fall apart from it. You know, it's funny here. You know, they're gonna get ready to get inside the hammock here, and of course, you know, Tracy Savage, she covered the O.J. Simpson trial. Now, here we go. She's going to tell the story of how she met Jason for the first time. So, are we going to get Jason? Are we going to get Jason later on in this prequel series? Are we going to get him? And are we going to get to the point where he comes across Chris Higgins? Because I think that they could have done a prequel between two in this one, which they could have done, because I mean the way she's telling her story, and I mean he was actually out there before part two. This is before I believe he came across Jenny and the Packneck Lodge and all that other stuff. That's Conflict Training Center. It was before all that. Be really neat. Now I know everybody says that Jenny is their favorite Power Girl. She is mine too, but then you got to think too, and I'm gonna say it right now. Uh, in this Friday the 13th franchise, how many people were only sole survivors in this entire franchise? How many of them were only sole survivors? 2 of them were. The rest of them it was, it was 2 of them that survived. Part 1, Alice was the sole survivor, and in part 3 here, Chris was the sole survivor. But great facial expressions by Dana Kimball here, telling the story about, how she ran into Jason the first time, and she heard footsteps and stuff like that, and here he comes. And he's got the same clothes on like he has right now, pretty much. So that would just be neat just to see, like a prequel between 2 and 3 here, because he was already walking around during the events of part 1. Because they said he saw his mom get beheaded, and we did get some truth to that. We did get truth to that with the 2009 remake, because he watched his mom get her head chopped off in the 2009 remake. So my question is, why didn't he, if he supposedly drowned, like Robert Campbell had said in Jason Goes to Hell, sadly he did not drown. So why didn't he come running, why didn't he go ahead and try finding his mom? That's another good question. And I think if they do this prequel series right, I think it's gonna nicely connect everything. Because you already know why, he can regenerate, his wounds and stuff, because of Jason X. His ability to regenerate lost and damaged tissue, guys. Just think about that for a couple minutes. That's why he looked different in part 8, where he didn't have the spinal cord or the ribcage showing, because he was already regenerating. That's what I think. Especially hearing that from Dr. Wormer and Jason X. Back in those days, with, I don't know why they didn't bring flashlights, but they didn't have, the technology we have today, a mini generator they could have brought with them. I think they make mini generators. I know there's different variations of them, but that they could have had left a light on the buggy there. But that was, but this was in the early 80s still. They didn't have that type of technology yet. I was getting a big kick out of this, because here goes Chuck going to the bathroom. And they did show this outhouse, what it looks like today. I don't know if it's still standing, but they moved it around somewhere on the location of the property. And it's all falling apart and stuff. So it's this shot here, I think they had to cut the back of it out in order to film that one shot where he's getting ready to go in. Yep, right here, right when they show the back end of Chuck here, that was all cut out in the back. Somebody can film it. Because you know that, I mean, you got to film it. Lighting, getting high on a joint here. It's heavy shit. And that's what he said, and that's what David Kevins put on my poster up here. Heavy shit. Shelly, if that's another one of your tricks. They're thinking, he's thinking it's Shelly the whole time. But I believe it was Chili that was shaking it though. But when he goes out in the distance, when he looks out in the distance right by the farm, which you can barely see, when he sees the legs and stuff, he thinks that's Shelly, and it's not. It's Jason, guys. It's Jason. Remember that. Even though that they don't mention Jason's name in this film at all. Just like Rowan says in Jason X, when Sergeant Brodsky says, "What the hell's going on here?" Jason fucking Voorhees, that's what's going on. I don't think he's in here. Let's go back. Yeah, you're afraid. I don't blame you. Because it wasn't Shelley you seen. And this door that hits back. There we go. Hey, yeah. She's gonna come up there. She's gonna go with that axe right there. Hey. Oh, hiya! There you are. It's a shame that Rachel Howard, who plays Shelley, doesn't do conventions. I remember when Peter Brack called her and told her what he was doing with the Crystal Lake Memories book, and she just hung up on him. She does not want anything to do with this franchise, and I think it's a shame. You know, I mean, I can understand some people, you know, the way they are and stuff, like, you know, John Shepard and Shavara Ross, they're Christians and stuff, but they've done conventions. I mean, I met John Shepard at the last flashback I went to, which was this past March. Shavara Ross was supposed to be there, but he had canceled out. But they say due to conventions. But for some reason, I don't know what happened with Rachel Howard with all that, or why she doesn't want anything to do with any of this. It's just a shame. Just really a shame. But I love the scene coming up because we got the part where Shelley jumps out from the water at Vera here with the hockey mask for the very first time. This is the first time we see the hockey mask, and this is the mask that's gonna redefine horror from this day forward. Because anytime you show somebody a mask, they're gonna know who that is. Now, I'm not a big fan, and I thought about getting tattoos, guys. If I had to get one, and I threw out a couple ideas, I thought about getting like the hockey mask tattoo put on my wrist right here. I thought about it, you know, but you know that's a lot of money to have body art put on you. But you know, and then also they fade over time and whatnot, but. I've been a long time fan. I've been a fan of this franchise since I was like, I think 4 or 5 years old. It was the first horror movie I seen. And I just loved it because I got a connection with this franchise because I love the outdoors, and I grew up with a family full of campers. My grandparents had a membership at a campground, and it's the same campground I'm talking about where I have been kayaking in my kayaking videos, that stuff. So yeah, Friday the 13th definitely. You know, if I had to go ahead, if somebody would have asked me, if you had to pick one horror movie franchise and you had to get rid of the rest, which one would you keep? I said I would keep Friday the 13th because I can watch those all the time. But now, if I had to keep, like, say, if I had to pick which ones I would watch and get rid of the rest, I'd keep the Friday 13th. I would keep the Friday 13th franchise. I would keep the Halloween franchise, excluding the Rob Zombie stuff and the David Gordon Green trilogy, because I like Halloween's 1 through Resurrection. I would take the Scream franchise and then the Psycho film franchise, and that'd be it. I didn't even notice that before on Vera's ankle. She's got like straps on her. That's how she keeps her flip-flop things on. It's pretty cool.
And that's actually, I heard that's a real picture of Larry Zerner and his mom. I have never ever paddled in a canoe before. Kayak is my thing. I like the kayaks. I mean, of course, last year was my introduction to doing kayaking, so I did that and did it again today, which you'll see the lake number two. It's a two-part video, but it was all shot in one video. It's like over 30 minutes long, so it's a 24-minute video, and then it's like over a 12-minute video, the second video. Very, very cool. And here we go of Jason for the first time walking out on the dock with that mask. I have no idea what that red building is back there. Oh, what a nice shot, man. And you gotta wonder, how did he get so good at shooting these weapons? Spear gun, throwing knives. He was out in the wild, but a spear gun is totally different because how did he learn how to operate one? How did he learn how to operate a spear gun? Like in Part 7, how did he learn how to operate a gas-powered buzzsaw? Maybe he was watching TV. Who knows? Hammock scene here. I'm pretty sure it's gotta be hard having sex in a hammock. But they made it happen. And this is eerie because here he is. Here's Jason coming in the house, walking with that machete, and I think the scary thing about Jason is that he can't stop killing. And it's basically, that he's kind of mentally challenged. And when you get somebody that's mentally challenged and they don't have help, and they're walking around like that, it can be very, very scary. I mean, I've dealt with somebody that had bipolar, and this is a person that was in my class, and she was just awful, and they took her medications and whatnot. But just seeing that when he's coming in the house with the machete, and then going up the spiral staircase, that is kind of scary. I kid you not, but he's not there, and he's going to go ahead and go in another room to get beer. Whether he had the beer on standing on his feet, I have no idea. If Andy had the beer balanced on his feet, but he just said that he was going to go ahead and get some beer. And then he comes back into the hallway, and Jason is magically there. Magically there. I have no idea how the heck he got there that quick, but there he is, hiding up against the wall. And that's a pretty good shot right there from the floorboard, because when they did that kill, it was like they had part of the floor cut out, and they had like some type of plexiglass, I think, and that's how they shot that shot when Andy gets hit with the machete. You got a Thailand Buddha statue right above the shower where she's at here. That shower head is pretty cool. It's like a ceramic shower head. Oh man, the 80s guys, the 80s is long gone. Great decade for horror films, not to mention music and all that other good stuff. I work in a nursing home, and I just could imagine the activities department. They show films and stuff for the older people. couldn't even imagine them showing a Friday the 13th film to the older people. Oh, that'd be crazy. That'd be nuts. Fangoria. I picked up one of those, but I mean I've seen them, but I've never ever picked up one. It's a horror magazine. It's amazing that she doesn't fall out of this hammock because look how close she is to the edge of it. 25 years of Godzilla. Oh, here comes the blood. Oh man, oh man, oh shit, here we go. Here we go. Oh! The Kevin Bacon style kill from the first film, you know? And then they hear something, both Chris and Rick, they hear something out there. They did film a scene where Chris and Rick do come across Abel, the guy that was laying in the middle of the dirt road. They did film that because I know there was a still shot of that. I think it was for like the lobby car, but they did film that. They didn't release it. Even the alternative ending, the alternate ending of this dream sequence ending, which Chris goes back to the ranch house and Jason opens the door and slices off her head with the original Stan Winston makeup for Jason. They filmed that, but I think they might have lost that footage. That would have been really cool to have that footage added in. But regardless, I'm still convinced when he saw Jason from a distance at the barn opening the door when Vera and Shelley came back from the store, that was the Stan Winston makeup for him. I'm convinced on that. And this cellar is actually the back end of the barn from, what Scott on tape had said. I believe it was in his video that he said that. I know YouTubers like Adam the Woo, he was there too. He did a real good filming location of this as well. And I believe Sean Clark was there as well at one time. You're probably hearing the kids next door. It's my neighbor next door. They're outside in the backyard. It's pretty funny. They're wild and crazy kids, I don't think that's a real skunk. I don't think that's an actual dead skunk in there. But this whole thing here with the naked girl and the thing going up in her, I can't quite figure out what the heck that was supposed to be. Some type of sex toy or something in that picture. I don't know. He's down there, man. He's gonna get you. He's back. He's back. He's back. He ain't faking this time. He really is a goner. Shelley's not faking. But that's what happens when you play around like that a lot. People are not going to believe you. And Chuck is going to meet his demise right here. They recreated this death scene in part 8. Oh man. The way she screams here is funny. Shelley's dead.
I would have just ran. I would have just ran out that door. Technically, you don't know what's on the outside of that anyway. He could have been waiting out there too. But she turns around, there he is, gets stabbed with that poker, and Chili is a goner. I love that moose head in the background. That's pretty cool. However, I'm not really a big fan of taxidermy at all, but, you know, I mean, where do you think our meats and stuff come from? Animals, but, I always thought taxidermy was kind of weird. Nice shot of Higgins Haven's house. Very, very cool stuff out there. They use this for quite a few films. I know one of the Meatballs films was filmed there. I think it was Meatballs 2 that was filmed there. I always hate burnt popcorn when it's been burnt. Gets in that steam of it. That steam of it gets up in your nose, and it's so hard to get that smell, that awfully god smell out of you. He even knows that there's something not right. They would always say that he stole Mrs. Voorhees' sweater. It kind of looks like Mrs. Voorhees' sweater, but it's got different patterns on it, though. She doesn't believe it that everybody took off and left them. Well, they didn't take off. They're all dead. Here comes Chris's shining moment coming up. Or she's going to end up being all by herself soon. Oh, man. Oh, here we go. He's trying to kick. Yeah, she's trying to get her attention, so you can see him kicking. He can't scream because Jason's got his mouth covered, but you can see him out there kicking, trying to see if he can get his leg to reach out to where she can see it. You know, some people complain about this because you can see the wire work with the eyeball. I've seen this movie so many times, guys. It doesn't bother me. Just like when you watch the movie in the beginning, you see that snake. When Harold goes and was going to put the rabbit back in the cage, and the snake comes out, and you see that close shot of the snake. That's all wire work right there. I'm gonna have to ask my brother, my younger half brother, as to why he likes this film so much. I've become a big fan of it as myself. I mean, for myself, it doesn't have the camp setting feel, but it's got the wood setting feel, which is still a plus. Same thing with the fourth film as well. I would love to see this thing in 4K. Chris's shining moment. She's all alone, and this is it, guys. This is the last time we've seen a sole survivor in one of these films, because anything after this, it's always been two people surviving usually. It looks like there's a body laying up there when she's walking towards the barn. It's like a white thing laying up there. Well, it looks like a body. here we go. It is time. Oh, look at those windows. I remember on the commentary when Richard Brooker had said he could have went through that window just like that, and they had to retake after retake after retake with the guy they were using. They couldn't get it right. The guy was going over the couch. He was not going over the couch. He hit the couch. He didn't go over the couch, and here we go. This is Mike DeLuna here. It would have been interesting if Richard Brooker didn't get this role and it was given to Mike DeLuna. That would have been really cool. No offense, I mean I like Richard Brooker as Jason as well, but Mike DeLuna did just as good as Brooker did. Hey, there's Paul. Hey, there's Rick's flannel shirt, red, black, and white. It's a kind of a nod to Bill's flannel shirt in part one. All right, here we go. Oh, she screams, and that's how Jason knows you're up there. I know it's a shock just seeing that dead body pop out right in front of you. Uh-oh, here we go. He's going to hack right through that thing. Oh! Hacking right through it. It's like Carl, bro. Look at that. I love how he hits his fist up against it like that's going to do something, and then he starts hacking away at the door with the axe. He's like this. And then he starts hacking, hacking away at that door, and she pulls that knife out. Oh, man. And I love how she lunges forward right when he gets his hand in her. Right when he gets his hand in there to unlock it, the way she lunges forward with the knife. And she's going crisscrossing. Doing everything she can. Maybe like going out there with a baseball bat and just swinging it, at him. I didn't notice, but when that knife was thrown at the door frame, I can see the wire work. And I always thought this part right here when Chris was climbing off the top window was funny. She isn't desperate. I'm gonna get the hell out of there. But yeah, that whole knife sequence when he gets thrown at the door frame, I saw the wire, the line. I love how she goes to the window right there and can see him coming down the spiral staircase. I don't know, do you guys think that do you guys think between Alice and Chris, who were the only sole survivors of their individual films in this entire franchise, who do you think was tougher, Alice or Chris? I think Chris was, because Alice never fought Jason. Jason killed her when Chris had her back turned, or when Jason killed Alice when Alice had her back turned at the refrigerator in the second film. But I love how when Jason just I loved it when how Jason I had to laugh at this. I was up at that scene the whole time. I love it when Chris tries to run down Jason. And he's like in the middle of the road and he dives like he's going back on like first, like he's going back on second or third base, getting ready to steal a base. And he just dives like that. That was funny. And the way he's running, he's got that limp because she stabbed him in the thigh. Oh no. She gets it starting, but it goes, the van goes all the way down because the boards are weakened from the bridge. I had a kid that I work with. He's 19 years old, and he didn't know that cars used to have manual windows you roll up. And I told him I got one. It's a 2021 Chevrolet Spark. I have. That's. I mean, this is freaky here. She's running, and he's chasing after her. Almost. Here we are in the finale, the third of the act. The battle, the rumble. It's gonna be a rumble in the barn tonight. Tonight. And he's gonna make sure that she doesn't get out of there. He knows she's in there. Here we go. It's funny because he's trying to look for her, and then all of a sudden he starts getting really, really angry. How he opened up that gate in the first stall right there. Now he's starting to throw stuff around, yeah, trying to look for her. Only if she was able to stay that quiet up there and not flip over, man, she probably would have been safe. Unless he went upstairs and he would have seen her. He'll see her when she kind of makes a noise. This right here is he's taking stuff, throwing it around again. Yeah, he's pissed. Kicks things, and man, it's funny. Oh, butt shot hit. Here's another thing with the VHS version. Right when he's getting ready to swing at her, but he hits the bar he put in. They don't show him pulling the machete out in this version, and on the DVD version it shows that. And it's funny because here he is, he's trying to pull the machete out. In my honest opinion, I think this might be the best looking Jason though. Alright, here we go. There's no way there's no way nobody can survive getting hung in their neck snapped. There's just no way. So really, what is Jason? I said it in the beginning of the live stream. Really, what is Jason? What is he really? Are we gonna get it explained in the prequel series what his powers are, or what the heck is he? Oh, his neck snapped. Now, if that was a normal human being, that person is dead. They're a goner. I would have kept that thing locked. Because there would have been no way there would have been no way he would be able to get back in there. I think she would have been, if she never would have opened that door, if she would have never taken that, if she would have never taken that, now he can open up that side to get in there, but I don't know if he would be able to open that up with one hand. It was when she put that shovel there before that big lumber thing, piece of lumber there. But she has to take an iron wheel to get it out of there, but I don't think he would be able to get that open. I'm not sure. But if I was her, man, I would have stayed there. You got another person in there with you. Ali is in there. He's hiding in there. My first time I saw this man, I thought he was dead, but then look at that. Oh man. Here's the reveal. She recognizes him and he recognizes her. The look on her face was unbelievable. The neat thing with the subtitles on there, I didn't realize that's what Ali said. You psycho. Here's the headshot with the axe. Again, any normal person that gets hit with an axe into the skull, it goes down automatically. This guy is walking for about a couple seconds. Look at that. And then he falls. I thought that was scary. I actually got the neck of the Mrs. Voorhees from this film too. It's right up here. It's a fully cloth one. Man-made lake. A man-made lake. They had to go ahead and fill this up every night because it would kept draining out. It was not a natural lake. But again, guys, they rebuilt the deck, or not the deck. They rebuilt the dock. Do I think that Chris? Did I think Chris went into a mental institution after this? It's kind of. That's a good question. I don't really know. I think she was in so much shock. That's why she acted the way she did when the cops hauled her away. I think this scene was kind of scary too when he's in the window and he's hissing at her. There he is. Oh, that'd be terrifying. Yeah, he's hissing. I do like this look with him out. I do like this look with him out without the hockey mask on compared to the Stan Winston look that they originally were going to give him. That is freaky, and especially when he busts right through that door and he's running towards her. Oh, there he is, man. He's pissed, man. And here we go. Here comes Mrs. V coming up. Marilyn Polisher. That's the second assistant unit director who played Mrs. Voorhees here. What an awesome job. Now, a lot of people do not like this dream sequence. I can see why, because Chris didn't even know who Mrs. Voorhees even was. I can see that point. I can understand that point. But I mean, to me, I think it was a really cool choice. But it would have been really cool to see the other ending they had filmed with the original Stan Winston makeup. But particularly, I'm kind of glad that they went with the look that they did with Jason without the hockey mask on, because I think it looks really badass. Yeah, she's a miserable wreck after all this stuff. All of her friends are dead, and the sole survivor. The sole survivor of the massacre at Higgins Haven, guys. Chris Higgins. Who knows what happened to you? That's the thing that's so unique about this franchise, guys. You just never, ever, whoever survives each of these films, they never return. Except for like Alice, which she got killed off in the second one, and then, of course, Tommy returned twice after the final chapter. But yeah, maybe I should go ahead and announce the next live stream commentary. Possibly, I might be doing the live stream commentary for Jason X next Saturday, the 4K version that just came out from Arrow Video. We'll have to wait and see. Again, I can't discuss what time I'm going to do it, because I really can't have a set time of any of this, because of stuff that I do. I mean, going to the gym and whatnot. It's so hard to figure out a schedule to do these live stream commentaries. But like for my videos, it's just random when I do them. But yeah, further ado, that's it. The commentary, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's been a blast for me to do this. Enjoyed it. Decided to do it on Memorial Day weekend, and hey, it is what it is. Without further ado, this is Oracle sign out. Take care and have a great rest of your Saturday night here, or your Sunday night, I should say. Gosh, I'm off work tomorrow for the holiday, but take care and see you guys back in the next one.